Sunday night's live stream revealed something to me very, very humbling indeed. And that is there's some very kind-hearted people out there that want to help if they can. That's what communities are all about. That's what human beings are all about at the end of the day. We form communities. We watch each other's backs. And I want to play you a little piece of footage that I drew from that live stream that actually got a fair bit of attention. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing all right. Let me know what you're up to in the comments below, and you've got everything you need and everything's good where you are. Well, yes, those of you that watched the live stream on Sunday evening, we were talking very much about the fuel poverty problem that we're all experiencing at the moment, cost of living crisis and everything else that goes with it. And it's very, very apparent that we all have an issue with it somehow, somewhere. Working people, people in the NHS, disabled, infirm, elderly, people with children, people in HMOs, shared accommodation, beds. We're all over the place. There is an issue of some kind with most people throughout the country now. And, you know, through this channel, we've managed to help a couple of people, which is quite good. And we've managed to make sure they got what they need. And, you know, we'll do what we can. I want to play you a piece of video footage now that I've trimmed out of that live stream, and it's of a radio interview done a few days ago, and it involves a woman with children, and listen to what she has to say. I want to share something with you which somebody sent me. It's quite heartbreaking. It's a radio interview which was done with a lady who's got a couple of kids that she has to think about, and she's in work, and this is an example of somebody that is working who can't cope. So it's not only the elderly, the infirm and all that sort of thing. You know, we've all got trouble somewhere. But let's load this up and we'll have a listen. And it did bring a tear to my eye, I have to tell you, and it's ones like this where you think surely we can help. But let's put it on.
Work in hospitals, we haven't had no pay increase, so everything that's gone up, my wages aren't really matching of what I have to pay out. And with Christmas, and my son's birthday is literally a week after Christmas, and they're asking for all these things, and it's really upsetting because they'll come down and say, you know, Mum, I'm cold, and I would say, go and put a jumper on, go and put socks on. You know, they shouldn't have to be living like that. You know, they shouldn't have to be saying that they're cold, and I can't put the heating on in the morning because by the time it heats up, I have to leave the house. And I have electric fire, so what I'm tending to do is put the electric fire on and then keep the doors open so the heat from the fire goes around, but it just doesn't seem to be working at all. And it is a worry. It's a massive worry. It's just eating it up massively. I get upset. Sorry.
Don't get upset. Don't get upset.
It's really hard.
No, I know it is.
I shouldn't have to be having my children live in poverty.
No, you shouldn't. None of us should.
My children should be able to wake up warm. My children should be able to have bath and not have to put on my dressing gown because it's big on them, just to keep warm, and having to put layers of socks on. And there's nothing I can do because if I put more money into my energy, I can't pay for food. And they've got school dinners I have to pay for, and it's really upsetting. It's really hard.
Oh, Emma, my heart breaks for you. Listen, Melissa was fantastic. You're fantastic. Listen, you're not in this alone. I know you feel like you're alone, but there are a lot of us are in the same boat because there's only so much we can stretch and save. But if the bills keep on rising, and then there comes a point where you just can't meet those bills. You just can't do it.
I know. I've had to. I've cut back on so much, and They don't really understand. Cause, you know, my 11-year-old and my 13-year-old don't really understand, and they're saying, "I want this for Christmas, or can I have that?" And I've had to save and just to try and get by, and I'm literally down to £73, and I don't get paid till the end of December. So and I have to top up their lunch for school, and I'm trying to give them everything that they should have at their age. And I've even applied to have a second job, because I can't make ends meet. I shouldn't have to. My children should not have to live like that.
I can hear. We can all hear the heartbreak in your voice. And as a parent, I listen. I get it. It's the hardest thing. We can, you know, we can put on extra layers and wear a hat, or we can do. But to be able to not be able to give your children what they need or what they want, it is heartbreaking. It is. None of us thought this would ever happen to us, I think.
I didn't think it would affect me. It wasn't until October when my gas bill came in, and I was just like shocked to see the price of it. And I paid it because I got panicky in case they'd cut me off and I wouldn't have anything at all. And you know, and my youngest son, he had 2 baths yesterday because he was so cold, and the only heat that he could got was the hot water.
Oh God!
And it's just so it's really, really upsetting. And they wore this morning when they woke up for school, they had their bed socks on, they had the oversized jumpers that you can wear to lounge around in, and my eldest had fingerless gloves while he was eating his cereal because it was so cold in my house.
Can I ask you, Emma? The schools break up soon for Christmas. Does that make it harder?
Yeah, it's made it a lot harder. And I've invited someone else round because they're going to be on their own at Christmas, and I don't want anyone to be on their own, so I've invited them round for dinner. And they've said, you know, do you want any help? And I'm like, no, because I don't want people to come. In my head, I think they're trying to give me money or buy me something to put on the table because they're coming round. It's like, I'm inviting you round because you're on your own. And I have, you know, I'm going to my parents for Christmas to be seeing them and to keep warm. I'm not going to want to go home. I can't enjoy my home because it's just so cold. It's really, really cold. And I've got old windows, so they're not the new double glaze that you have now. I've got the old windows, so you can feel the breeze come through. So my curtains are always shut. I can't describe how I'm feeling. It's really hard when you wake up in the morning. You know that you've got to get out of a cold bed. You don't want to get out of bed. My nose is always cold. It's just horrible.
I wish I could do something, Emma. I really do. At the moment, I mean, I've been banging my head against the wall on this story for ages now, because I know. I'm glad you and Melissa have highlighted it, but I know this is what people are going through, and I think we need to talk about it. We need to give these stories a public airing, because people are in trouble, people are suffering, and when I hear some of the rubbish that comes out of Westminster, it just drives me crazy. It's my blood boils.
I think if they don't live like it, they don't understand. And they don't live like it, it's not going to affect them, but it affects people like myself. It affects people that don't work and do rely on benefits. And I don't think I've ever taken heat for granted until
none of us have.
Until this month.
None of us have.
And I've just I just can't put into words about getting really upset how.
Now that poor woman sounded at breaking point. What else can I do? What else can I do to keep my children warm, myself warm, while we're living in poverty? Talk of second jobs and everything else. It's awful. Now, I want to get this video out there, and I want to get this woman's story out there, particularly for one reason. When I played this on Sunday, there were people in the chat that were offering to help her. I mean, I even had one lady that wanted to buy Christmas gifts for her kids. Can you imagine that? The kindness of strangers. That's all it is. Yeah, share this around if it rings a bell. Put it on your social media. Do whatever you have to do. Let's try and make an attempt to find this lady and see if we can help in any way. Anyway, I'm off. I'll see you soon with another. Toodaloo.